Hi guys, we're on to chapter 3, Top Secret. At school, Miguel starts hanging out with Dean and Sam at recess. Almost every day, they practice pitching and catching in the gym. Miguel wants to be ready for spring tryouts for the town's Little League baseball team. Dean and Sam have never brought up the incident with the ghost in the white turban, but Miguel has noticed they are none too eager to come over to his house after school or during weekends. Which is, well, just as well. How can he explain Tia Lola to them? As they are dressing for gym, Dean asks Miguel if living in the old Charles Boo house is maybe a little spooky. At night, he adds, as if he doesn't want to be thought a scaredy cat for asking. What do you mean? Miguel stalls for time. He means are there ghosts there? Sam asks. Funny things happen, Miguel admits, trying to keep his fingers crossed as he puts on his sweat socks, but I've learned not to pay attention to them. Dean and Sam nod solemnly. Miguel can see a new respect in their eyes. They think he is brave for living in a haunted house with a real ghost. They don't know how real she is, Miguel thinks to himself. This is how Tia Lola became top secret. It's hard to believe Tia Lola can be kept a secret. She is full of life, she is full of laughter, she is full of stories, and she is full of noise. Some nights after supper, Tia Lola gives Juanita and Mommy dance lessons. They move across the living room, stomping their feet and snapping their fingers or shaking maracas, swaying their hips to the music of Fernandito, Violena, and Juan Luis Guerra and Rafael Solano. If only Tia Lola could stay, Mommy says wistfully as she sits on Miguel's bed one night. Under his blankets, Miguel crosses his fingers. You said it was just a visit, he reminded his mother. How can Tia Lola stay? She's not willing to learn English. Just learn a little bit, Juanita tries to convince her. Un poquito, Tia Lola. ¿Por qué? Tia Lola asks. There's no reason for it. She is just here for a visit. She can get along just fine without English. But nobody around here speaks Spanish, Juanita reminds her. Qué pena, Tia Lola is shaking her head. What a pity. If the Americans are so smart, how come they haven't figured out that Spanish is easier than English, she wonders. Miguel rolls his eyes. Easier for whom, he mutters. ¿Qué dice? Tia Lola wants to know what Miguel has said. Nada, Miguel replies. After all, he doesn't really want to hurt his aunt's feelings again. Besides, as long as Tia Lola doesn't know English, she won't venture out on her own. She can be kept a secret. There's only one problem with top secret aunt, the big-mouthed little sister in the second grade. I need to talk to you, Nita, Miguel tells his little sister one day after school. He always uses her nickname when he wants a favor from her. He has come into the bedroom and closed the door. He puts on his serious older brother face and speaks in a quiet, concerned voice. Tia Lola must be sent back unless we're very careful. Might be sent back unless we're very careful. Juanita's mouth drops open. But who'll take care of me during the day till Mommy comes? Miguel grins. I will. Juanita looks worried. Why would Tia Lola have to go back? She's part of our family. Juanita's bottom lip quivers. For a moment, Miguel is not sure he can go through with it. She's been here 1 whole month. People are only allowed to visit for 21 days. Let's tell Mommy, Juanita says, jumping up out of her bed. Are you crazy? Miguel says, yanking her back by the arm. You know how worried and sad Mommy was before Tia Lola came? You want her to start worrying again? Juanita shakes her head no. We've got to keep Tia Lola top secret. You can't mention her in school, okay? Juanita nods slowly. If your friends come to the door, tell her to hide. Juanita starts to nod, but suddenly her mouth drops open. She clasps her hands over it. What? Miguel wants to know. You better tell me, he pleads with his sister, or else. I can't, his sister said. It's a secret. And before Miguel can catch her to sit on her and make her tell, Juanita runs out of her room and down the stairs. Soon there's a second problem with the top secret aunt. Rudy begins his Spanish lessons. Mondays, when his restaurant is closed, Rudy drives over in his old red pickup. Almost as old as me, he likes to joke, patting it as if the pickup were a barn animal. Rudy is tall and big-shouldered with rumpled gray hair and thick eyebrows and red cheeks. He looks like someone who has lived in the Old West but is retired to modern times in Vermont. When his wife died 5 years ago, he opened up a restaurant. He loves eating, but I hate eating alone, he tells his diners. He is also giving discounts and coming out of the kitchen in a white apron, holding a big pot of something he has just invented for everyone to try out. The first night he steps into the Guzman house, he smells the mouth-watering odor wafting from the kitchen. "Wow," he says, "smells like heaven in here." Tia Lola comes into the room bearing a tray of pastelitos. She is wearing her palm tree dress and a pink flower in her hair. "Looks like heaven," Rudy added, reaching for one of the fried spice treats she is offering him. Rudy is not shy. He eats 7 of them. From that moment on, the Spanish lessons turn into cooking lessons, followed by a cup of espresso and merengue dancing lessons on top of to top off the evening. Sometimes Tia Lola throws in a little Spanish vocabulary between servings of whatever she has made that night. Arroz con ibacuas, Tia Lola pronounces. This is the name of rice and beans. She is piling on Rudy's plate, con un poquito de bocadillo, with a little codfish. "Sweetheart, honey," Rudy says between mouthfuls, "I don't care what it's called. This is magnificent." Rudy was an altar boy when he was Miguel's age, and Mommy says that sometimes Rudy's Spanish sounds a lot like Latin. "Lola, I just love your cooking." "He's not learning much Spanish," Mommy complains one night after Rudy has left. "¿Qué importa?" Tia Lola says. "What does it matter?" Monday nights prove her point. You don't have to speak the same language to have fun with other people. Some nights when the dance lessons begin, Rudy pulls Miguel to his feet from the table. "Vente, vente," he urges as he in his mangled Spanish. Miguel doesn't dare refuse. He has found out from Dean and Sam that in addition to running a restaurant, Rudy is the coach for the Little League team. By the time practice begins, when Rudy might say something to Miguel's friends about his top secret aunt, Tia Lola will hopefully be gone. "This is just a visit," Miguel keeps reminding himself as he shakes the 2 maracas in his hands. It is the 1st of March, and Miguel has already started his countdown. In 30 days, 7 hours, and 12 minutes, it will be exactly midnight and the day of his birthday. Back in the city, he always thought of his birthday as a spring birthday. But here in Vermont, spring never arrives until late in April. If we're lucky, one of their neighbors, Farmer Tom, has explained to him, "Makes for a long winter, I admit, but it keeps the Flatlanders away." Miguel doesn't need to ask what a Flatlander is. The look on Tom's face says he doesn't think very highly of them. But even if the spring is over a month away, there are hopeful signs. On weekend rides in the countryside, Miguel can see steam rising out of the sugar houses. When the family sits down to supper, there's just a tinge of light in the evening sky. At the supper table one night, their mother asks Miguel and Juanita what happened that day in school. Then she asks Tia Lola what happened that day at home. Tia Lola tells them that a man in a brown suit came to the door, but because the man was not El Rudy, and Tia Lola had been told not to let in any strangers, she waved at him to go away. "I know," Miguel's mother says. "That must have been the UPS guy. I'm expecting something." She glances over at Miguel and then back at Tia Lola, raising her eyebrows slightly. Miguel sees a secret look traveling between his aunt and his mother. "I'm expecting something too," he says, in case anybody should be getting forgetful at this important time of the year. His birthday is coming up in 10 days, 5 hours, and 33 minutes. Ay, Dios mío, his mother says, as if she just now remembered it. How are you doing? Tiguerito, his father, is on the phone. It is Saturday morning. In 5 more days, 14 hours, and 15 minutes, it will be Miguel's birthday. What are you planning for the big day? Nothing much, Miguel replies. He feels sad. This will be his first birthday without his father. No matter how special it is, it won't be special enough. Have you thought about what you want? Of course he has. More than anything, he wants his parents to be together. But he can't say that. He has already mentioned a few things to his mom. A new bat, a baseball signed by Sammy Sosa, who also came from the Dominican Republic, like Miguel's parents. Rollerblades, a visit from his best friend Jose once the weather gets nice. One other thing, he tells his dad, lowering his voice. I wish Tia Lola, she was supposed to come for a visit, and she's still here, and she won't even try to learn English. Is that so? Maybe it's good to have your aunt around so you have to practice your Spanish. But the kids in school already think I'm different enough, Miguel explains. He is surprised that he is telling his father this much. They can't even pronounce my last name. His father has gone very quiet on the other end. Mijo, he finally says, you should be proud of who you are. Proud of your Tia Lola. Proud of yourself. It is Miguel's turn to be quiet. He knows his father is right, but he can't help feeling what he feels. I know sometimes it's hard, his father is saying softly. You'll grow into that pride the older you get. Te quiero mucho, he adds. Don't forget. For the next few days, the secret look that has been traveling between Tia Lola and Miguel's mother, and then Juanita, suddenly finds its way to Miguel's friends. In the gym, Miguel comes upon Dean and Sam whispering. They stop the minute they see him. What's up? He asks. Top secret. They chime in together and then burst out laughing. Miguel doesn't know what they're laughing about. He feels uncomfortable, but he laughs along with them. Friday morning, when Miguel comes downstairs, his mother is already eating her breakfast. Buenos dias, Miguel, she says, looking up and frowning. You're going to wear that to school today? She stares at his Yankee sweatshirt as if it has a bad smell to it. It's my favorite shirt, he reminds her. Just last Christmas, his father gave it to him. A few days later, his parents sat him and Juanita down and told them about the divorce. Juanita walks into the kitchen. Mommy, where's my book bag? Oh, hi, Miguel. I thought I left it in the bedroom. It's my birthday, Miguel feels like screaming. Tia Lola has been outside feeding the birds. The minute she enters the room and sees Miguel, she throws her arms around him and gives him 10 kisses, one for each year since he was born. Then she added a couple more, which she calls his napa. His mother stares pointedly at Tia Lola, the way she does when she wants to remind her of something without saying it out loud. That's right, big boy, she says, play punching him in the arm. You're in the double digit now. Gotta run, his mother adds, glancing at her watch. Staff meeting. She rolls her eyes. Guess I'll be catching the school bus today, the 31st of March, the anniversary of my first decade on planet Earth, Miguel says. If he can make his birthday sound important, maybe he'll get presents and lots of attention. Maybe he'll get a ride to school from his mommy instead of having to ride the bus on his birthday. We'll celebrate later, promise, his mother calls as she heads out the door with her coat half on, half off. All morning at school, Miguel feels gloomy. His friends are acting funny. No one wishes him happy birthday, though he has been dropping hints for the last few weeks. Want to hang out after school, Miguel asks Dean as they head back from their classroom after recess. Can't today, Dean explains. My mom's picking me up early, got a dentist appointment. I got a dentist appointment too, Sam says, when Miguel turns to him. Nice friends, Miguel thinks. Jose would have hung out with him on his birthday instead of going to some stupid dentist. Maybe these new friends are not real friends after all. Miguel grows even gloomier as the day wears on. That afternoon, Miguel comes out of school, head bowed, dragging his feet. His friends have run off early. The school bus is gone. Just as well, he would rather walk home than ride the noisy bus with his sister and her friends on his birthday. When he looks up, he can't believe his eyes. Just ahead stands his father in his jeans and leather jacket, holding Juanita's hand, a great big smile on his face. "Happy birthday, Tigurito," he calls out. Miguel drops his book bag and runs into his father's arms. This is the best birthday present ever. He hugs his father and then holds on a little longer while his moist eyes dry up. "Contrólate, it's cold here." His father stomps his feet on the ground as if he too were taking dance lessons from Tia Lola. They get into the rented car his father has driven from New York, and Juanita and Miguel give their father directions. It takes forever to get home. They pass farmhouses and rambling bridges, and fields with brown patches. Breaking through the snow, their father keeps taking the wrong turn. As he drives, he tries playing an old game they used to play in New York. "What color's that?" he asks, pointing to something, and Miguel and Juanita have to name off the color from their father's oil paints. Cadmium, yellow, raw umber, cobalt blue with a dab of titanium white. But everything he points to here is gray, gray, gray. When they finally pull up at the house, Miguel's mother's car is already in the drive. Is this Rudy's red pickup? As Miguel steps in the door, Sam and Dean spring out from behind the couch. "Surprise!" they shout. The table is piled high with gifts. Just above it hangs the parrot piñata Tia Lola has brought with her. Rudy is standing by, holding a hammer. He must have just finished putting it up. Suddenly, Miguel understands everything. He is about to thank everybody when he hears one last shout coming from the kitchen. Before he can turn around and hide, his top secret aunt walks in with a big cake in the shape of a baseball, showing off her one word of English: "Surprise, surprise." Then everyone sings happy birthday in Spanish. "We sort of rehearsed before you came," Sam explains. "Your aunt taught us." "I've never had a ghost for a teacher before," Dean adds, poking Miguel in the side. Miguel feels his face getting red, but when his friends burst out laughing, Miguel cannot help smiling. He looks over at his father, who smiles back at him. It's true what Papi has said. Miguel is 10 years old today and already feeling 10 times prouder of being who he is. That's the end of chapter 3.